Alabama basketball getting a whole new season started up. Alabama soccer, women's soccer, trying to win an SEC championship. And Alabama football trying to show the world there's still a lot more to play for in the college football landscape. It's Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Welcome in to the hottest show on the streets, bringing you that Alabama football fire, that heat. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Welcome in. Shouting out all the veterans today. Happy Veterans Day to all the brave men and women on the front line, protecting our rights here as United States citizens. Shouts to my family members. My dad served in the Navy for about 7 or 8 years. My uncle was an Army man for 25, 30 plus, for about 25 to 30 years. So got some family members that served there in the armed forces. Shouts out to those guys right there. And also, we're bringing you the show, the Magic City of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. Hit that subscribe button right now. Get every friend, family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like on the show as well. Hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. Like the show. Let's get this right now. 50 likes on the show right now. Run those likes up. Make this your channel, your network platform, space to talk Bama football. Also, you asked for it. We're bringing it to you daily. Super Chat Go $100. Daily Super Chat Go $100. Appreciate the support. All donations, all Super Chats welcomed from you. Turn on all of those notifications, hit that bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football content here on YouTube. And got a great show tonight. Fantastic show. We want to hear from you though. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard. 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. Got my man Eli Walker in the production room tonight. Eli, you and I have a date with Oxford, Mississippi, the Grove, on tomorrow. We'll be going down there, covering Bama Ole Miss for Touchdown Alabama magazine. So folks, check that out as Eli's bringing the videos. You know what I do? I bring the game by game, tweeting, reporting, that whole thing there. But we start this thing off first, Eli, with this right here, and that being, Coach Saban in Alabama trying to show national media and everybody else out there there's still a lot to play for with this Crimson Tide team is concerned. And Bama kind of needs that statement, convincing win here against the Rebels. Just due to, you got all these people in the national eye, Paul Feinbaum, among others, saying, a dynasty's over. Nick Saban's run of excellence, it's over. Put a fork in it, it's done. He can't do it anymore. So, Alabama and Coach Saban need this convincing statement win to kind of get everybody to understand, even when Alabama's going through a rough patch, Bama can still be Bama football. Even though Bama's got 2 losses on the season, and both of those losses came on a combined 4 points between Tennessee and LSU. If the ball bounces a different way, Alabama can still be undefeated right now at this point. So that convincing statement win, huge here for Alabama this week, especially when you look at, guys like Feinbaum talking about how, the run of championships is over for Coach Saban. He doesn't have that passion anymore. Doesn't have that fire anymore. He's not having Bama looking like Alabama football anymore. There's so much to be concerned about. You talk Crimson Tide football. So this is some of the people in the national media. Not everybody. Because not everybody in the national eye is drinking the knee-jerk reaction juice. You even got Desmond Howard of ESPN's College Game Day. Now, Desmond Howard doesn't have the greatest takes of all time, but even he is one to not go for knee-jerk reactions. He said today on Get Up, Alabama's going to be Alabama. I'm not going to have a knee-jerk reaction because Alabama lost 2 games by a combined 4 points. You've got Joel Klatt of Fox Sports. He's saying, I'm not buying this whole dynasty's dead thing either. So not everybody in the national public eye is saying that the Bama dynasty, the Bama run is over. You do have some that are barking up that tree. And here is Coach Saban's shot to have this team prepared to give this convincing win, convincing statement here for this matchup against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. And speaking of Lane Kiffin, even down to Lane Kiffin, even Kiffin knows that, Kiffin knows. Ticked off Nick Saban is dangerous, Nick Saban. I mean, Kiffin even told Feinbaum today, thank you for ticking off Coach Saban for us. Give him that GOAT fuel. We got the number one guy in this craft coming out to visit us, and you've given him all the fuel he needs to try to run us over. So, even Kiffin knows. Ticked off Nick Saban is the Nick Saban that you don't necessarily want to mess with. I mean, during his weekly radio show on Thursday, Saban was back cussing on the radio show. I got fans going, hey, is this the hardcore Nick Saban we've been asking for? Has he come back? Of course, Saban gave his statements about how, he gave his reason as to why he's not, acting crazy and breaking headsets and yelling and screaming on the sideline. And part of the reason why he's not doing this is every Sunday in church he prays that he doesn't get mad as much anymore. I mean, I understand, having an intervention with the Lord, is a great thing. And we all have to do that. We all have to do that, even not myself. But Coach Saban in the radio show, my prayers in Sunday morning church is help me to not get overly emotional and help me to not get as mad as I used to. Because when I got mad, I said some things that I shouldn't have said. And I did some things I shouldn't have done. Hey, Coach Nick Saban. So he ended it with, though, if you think me breaking headsets and acting crazy is going to help us win football games, and I'll sure do it. So Saban is not closing the door on acting crazy on the sideline, breaking some headsets. But he's saying that, hey, prayer, a little time with Jesus. Saban's Catholic, though, but prayer and a little time in prayer is helping him be calmer. So, hey, Saban has to say what he had to say right there. But in terms of the players still believe Eli, but there's a lot to play for in the season. You got guys like Byron Young that talk about we want to play for the name on the back of a jersey, the scripted A on the front of a jersey, playing with our teammates and for our teammates, and holding each guy accountable and responsible for the job that they're going to have to do here on this field. So Saban still feels like there's something to play for. The athletes still feel like there's something to play for. But it all starts against Ole Miss. How does this team come out? They come out hungry, gangbusters, gang breakers, ready to make some shake and make some happen? Or do they come out extremely flat? That is something that Eli, your eyes and my eyes will pay a lot of attention to, because this is a Bama team that can definitely salvage this season, even with 2 losses. But it all comes down to how does it come out the gate here against an Ole Miss team that's very good and trying to shut down all the talk from national media that your run of championships is over. We'll see how they go about this. But we go to our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. When we get back, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, your ideas. Be sure to drop those score predictions, offensive, defensive player of the game, and the super chats. We'll get to you right after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets here on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Happy Veterans Day to all the brave men and women fighting, protecting our rights and freedoms in this country, the United States of America. Happy Veterans Day to you all. Shouts out Jimmy Badman Cash Money Clay, $25 donation. In the Super Chats, Dancing Stephen loving that also. Remember, people, daily Super Chat go $100. Daily Super Chat go. All donations welcome. Continue hitting that like button. Give us that thumbs up. Like the show. Gonna get this thing off. 50 likes out the gate. Run those likes up. Make this your platform to talk Bama. We go to the phone lines right now to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358 is the number. 205-448-1358. We take this call. You're live on the show. It's happening. How we doing? State your name and where you calling from.
It's Friday night. The president is in the house. What's shaking down in Birmingham tonight, Stephen? Let me hear some good news.
Doing great, Whaley. Wishing all the veterans a happy day. The Veterans Day today. All the brave people, men and women fighting for our rights as American citizens. So appreciate all the veterans out there. Also, you take on Ole Miss tomorrow. You pay Lane Kiffin a little visit. We will see, this team and having a lot to play for. Coach Saban was kind of hot there on the radio show last night. So we'll see the energy that this team brings into Oxford.
Yeah, he was a little hot last night. I was watching it myself there. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there served in the country and kept us, under the flag and the freedom we have. We sometimes we don't really recognize what we really have in this country. Sometimes we just overlook it. But Alabama is, they talk about the running game a little bit. Really, if you look at the statistics, Alabama's in the top 10 in running games, but they're about 88th in attempts, Stephen. So they just don't, when they run the ball, they get some good yardage, but they just don't seem like they want to run the ball a whole lot. But I don't know. Maybe they'll get the running game together tomorrow and take out Kiffin. I hope so. All y'all take your mustard bottles up there and throw them, or your ketchup bottles. It don't make no difference. Just toss them out there. They'll pay the fine anyway. But y'all listen. Y'all don't listen to Paul Farnbaum. He was in Coach Bright's office about 1982, popping his mouth off. I put a picture on Facebook, and then he pissed off Coach Perkins. He didn't speak to him for 30 years. So I don't know. I think Paul just does that. That's just his show. That's just his style. But like Kiffin said, he might have thrown a little gas on the fire. We don't know. But all y'all looking good. It's a weekend. Everybody be safe. Enjoy the games tomorrow. Keep you cool. We got high hopes, like I'm always saying. Sing that old song. We got high hopes. I love all y'all. Y'all be safe. I'll be back on Monday, the good Lord willing. Have a good weekend, Stephen. Be safe at Oxford. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate Waylon starting us off. You're the president on a Friday. Now, Eli, the question will be, Eli, once we get to Oxford, covering the game, how will the food be down there? I mean, how will the food be down there? So that'll be a question. The game is important because we're going down there for the game. We're going to cover this game, period. But as the slideshow, side piece, how will the food be? We're going to take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen. This is Daniel from Phoenix City. How are you?
Doing great, Daniel, and yourself?
Oh, man, I'm just hanging in there, same old. I've got a couple things to kind of get your take on. So I was thinking back after watching the Bama Standard earlier this week, and they brought up the fact that Jameson got kicked out of a game last year for targeting. And, he put some hard hits on. And I thought all the way back to the last time that I really saw an impressive stop on the field for Bama. And I actually went back to, it was 2020, I think, in the Florida game. I'm sure you remember the interception Mac threw, and I believe it was Mechie laid that defender out.
Mechie completely destroyed Trey Dean's life.
I mean, I felt that through the TV. I'm just saying, I hurt. But, where is that? And I'm not discrediting any of these players. I know these guys work hard. But is that just, I'm talking about as far as defense goes, mind you, is that coaching? Because, I mean, even going back to 2019, playing LSU, the whole first half was arm tackles. And then the second half, the defense started to kind of pull together. But that first half was just embarrassing. They just weren't even trying. It's like they were just trying to get the ball out, not actually stop the guy. So is that coaching, you would say?
Some of it is, Daniel, because I know Nick Saban likes to have the players go over those turnover drills in practice where they try to rip the ball out, and Saban's been focused on we got to create more turnovers, and it gets in the player's mind so much of wanting to create a turnover versus just making a sound tackle. So some of it is coaching, true, but some of it also is, heart and desire from the player's aspect. And, wanting to get up there, make that hit, make that tackle, and wrap up. Like, going back to this LSU game, there were several times where, an Alabama defensive player met an LSU running back head on in the box. You got to finish that play. Because if you finish that play, that's a tackle for loss. That's stopping them, that's preventing them from getting a first down. But because you're not meeting the LSU offensive player with the same heart, the same intensity, the same fight, you missed the tackle. So some of that is coaching, yes, but some of that also is the desire of the player to make and finish that play.
Right. And the other thing I was going to ask is actually I have to ask about the receivers / Bill O'Brien. And the reason I say this, I never played football. I know a lot about it. I've watched it. But I'm just curious, as far as the receivers go, with that not getting separation, and I understand a lot of these guys aren't Smitty. They aren't Jalen Waddle, and that's not to take anything away from them because those guys were just special. They just came in special. But is some of that lack of separation just bad play calling? I mean, I believe it was Coach Smoot that said something along the lines of it just seems like the offense is just get down the field and see if you can get open. That's about it.
Some of it is the play calling of O'Brien. It could be more creative in giving shorter route concepts, but also with the receivers, you got to win off the snap of the ball. I mean, you got to be able to win in your route upon the snap of the ball, and that's the main thing. It shouldn't take that long to get open. There have been games this season where Bryce Young is literally patting the football, wondering, are you guys going to get open now? How about now? Are you open yet? So some of it is the play calling of O'Brien could definitely be better, but I think I put more of the onus of players have got to be able to win off the line of scrimmage. And that's the desire of running a strong route. If you know that, okay, this DB prides himself on the timing routes, on the longer developing routes, then break your route off quicker. Beat him with the inside move faster. Hit him with a double move quicker. Like, you got to be able to quickly make your moves as a receiver in space. So a lot of it also is on the receivers. You got to win in your route upon the snap of the ball.
Well, Stephen, I agree. I appreciate it. Your show's awesome. It's just gotten better and better and better. I've been watching since 2019, and you've just gotten better, and it was awesome then. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate Daniel there calling in from Phoenix City. That's the main thing. It's a combination, Eli, to me, of both. It's as much as we want Bill O'Brien to to be somewhat like a Sarkisian, a Kiffin, it was a Loxley. That's not going to happen, even though we do want, as people that consume Alabama football, for him to have more creativity, more, excitement to the play calling. I think it's also, as a receiver, you got to want to win when that ball is snapped and get in and out of your breaks, in and out of your cuts. Sometimes when I watch these receivers, it's like they're going through the motions, especially Jermaine Burton and Trayshawn Holden. It's like the moment the ball is snapped, you're running your routes in slow motion. Get down the field, man. Break your route. Put a little dipsy-do juke move. Get up and down the field on them. Like, win your route. Win your possession. Win with your feet. I mean, that's what made Smitty, Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Waddle, all those, Jameson Williams, they won with their feet. They won at the snap of the ball. They were not going to allow press coverage, press man. They weren't going to allow the DBs to beat them at the top of the route or even recognize the route. It's how quickly they would break it off fast, or they would slant and go fast, or they would curl fast. Like, those receivers mastered winning upon the snap of the football. These guys have not mastered that. Yes, there's talent on the roster, but that talent apparently is not consistently on the field. And it needs to be consistently on the field. But we're going to call topic right here, and that would be, several Alabama players got a chance to pay homage to heroes in the community in terms of Veterans Day. And there was a video that made the Alabama football Twitter account of guys in the community of Tuscaloosa giving honor to veterans. A couple of the players that were in the video were Jalen Milroe, defensive back Malachi Moore, freshman linebacker Jihad Campbell, offensive lineman Amari Kite, just a few names. Also place kicker Will Reichert. Just a few names that were in the video on Alabama's Twitter page, giving back to community heroes, giving back to veterans. They were feeding the veterans, had a little barbecue out there for them, signing autographs, taking pictures. Really cool. Really cool stuff from Bama football to the veterans. And Jalen Milroe was the primary player speaking in the video as he talked about how both of his parents served in the military. His mom served in the Navy. His dad was an Army veteran. So it's just really cool seeing that, up close and personal there. Bama giving back to the brave men and women fighting for our country right here. But we take another break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back, we get into the keys to victory. What is it going to take for Alabama to take care of Ole Miss? We'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people, we're back in here to the action from the break on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show, the eve of Bama Ole Miss matchup between Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Alabama, and those Rebels tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff. CBS will have the call from Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford. Eli and I will be at the Grove. Follow us here. We'll be bringing you the content. Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Gotta shout out J.D. Long with that $19.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate J.D. Also the President Wayland with that $1.99 in the Super Chats. Daily Super Chat goal, $100 right there. Daily Super Chat goal, $100. Appreciate the support there. All donations appreciated and welcomed. We got 41 likes on the show. Trying to get this to 50 right here. Continue hitting that thumbs up. Like the show. Hit the like button. Make this your place to talk Bama football. Thanks to all of you. Shouting out all the veterans out there. All the brave men and women fighting for this country, protecting our rights. It's your day. Veterans Day. Thanks to all of you. But now, we set this thing up, people. Alabama, Ole Miss, keys to victory here for the Crimson Tide. The critical things that must take place for the Tide to handle the Rebels here. And for Lane Kiffin, for all of the love and the respect that he has for Coach Saban, and he does, a lot of love and a lot of respect. You know, Saban single-handedly revived Kiffin's career. A lot of people had written Lane Kiffin off. Nobody wanted nothing to do with Kiffin. Nobody wanted to go around Kiffin with a 10-foot pole. But Nick Saban extended the olive branch in 2014 because he knew the game was changing. What to an offensive landscape? Kiffin comes in, gives Alabama an offensive facelift, going from more of a pro style to a spread out offense. And with that new regime, Kiffin helped Alabama 3 SEC championships, national championship in 2015, 2 3,000-yard quarterbacks, Blake Sims, Jacob Coker, 2 1,000-yard running backs, Derrick Henry, Damian Harris, a 2,000-yard running back in Derrick Henry, 2 1,000-yard receivers, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, a Fred Biletnikoff Award winner, Amari Cooper in 2014, Heisman Trophy winner, Derrick Henry in 2015. So Kiffin did a lot for Coach Saban. Did a lot. Did quite a bit. But for all the love that Kiffin has for the 71-year-old 7-time national champion and Coach Saban, Kiffin also wants to be the 3rd former assistant to beat Nick Saban. He wants that too. So this is a big game here in Oxford. Now we get into our keys here. Key number 1, Bama's defense has got to shut down, take away, negate. Ole Miss cannot run the football on Alabama. Bama's got to take away this run game from Ole Miss. That's number 1. That's first and foremost. Number 2, pressure from Alabama's defense and discipline from Alabama's defense has to offset Jackson Dart, Ole Miss transfer quarterback, and Lane Kiffin. But number 3, the offense for Alabama got to discover its identity in the run game. Got to put that together in the rushing attack. So, first point, Bama's got to take away Ole Miss's run game. The Rebels come into this matchup. Number 1 rushing offense in the SEC. Number 3 rushing offense in the country. And I know that's weird because Lane Kiffin is a deep shot guy. He loves the vertical passing game, and he loves doing this when he knows he's caught a touchdown, throwing the clipboard up in the air. But Kiffin's become way more dynamic now in the run game too, bringing the balance to Ole Miss's offense. A lot of what they do in the passing game coming out of the shotgun, those have now become run plays, draws, misdirections, zone runs. So a lot of what they do in the run game sets up those play action, deep shots, crossing patterns, screen and goes. A lot of that set up by the run game. A lot of eye candy run game to set up the passing attack. So gap integrity, gap discipline, eye discipline, shooting gaps, wrapping up, making tackles. All of this is going to be important for Alabama's defense because you're facing an offense in Ole Miss that's averaging 276.4 yards per game on the ground. And in Alabama's last 3 SEC road games, they're 1-2. In the last 3 SEC road games, we're talking Arkansas, Tennessee, and LSU, Alabama's run defense has struggled tremendously. Against Arkansas, the Tide gave up 187 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Against Tennessee, it gave up 182 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And against LSU, it gave up 185 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. So combined in those 3 games, on an average, Alabama's run defense gave up 185 yards rushing, and combined, it gave up 6 touchdowns. So that's got to be improved there against Ole Miss. The Rebels have 2 running backs that will come at you. You got Quinshawn Judkins, and Judkins from Pike Road High School here in Alabama, Pike Road, Alabama. Our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, he scouted out Curtis Perry from Pike Road High School. Perry and Judkins played on the same team that won a state title just a year ago. Judkins at 5'11", 200-plus pounds. The brother is a 1,000-yard back, 1,034 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns. Coach Saban said, we looked at him for the 2022 class. We probably should have gotten him. Judkins' 6 100-yard games this season, including a 200-yard performance in Ole Miss's 31-28 win over Texas A&M. The Rebels also have Zach Evans, who's got 7 rushing scores on the year. So Ole Miss can run the football. Alabama has got to take away that aspect from Lane Kiffin and the Rebels. Key number 2, Bama's pressure up front, along with its discipline, can it disrupt Jackson Dart and Lane Kiffin? Jackson Dart, one of 16 transfers Ole Miss got out of the portal in the offseason. Dart transferred from Southern California. This guy's having a good year. 14 touchdowns, 7 picks. He's not afraid to sling the football. He's having a good year executing this offense. Dart, 473 yards rushing. He's not like KJ Jefferson or Jayden Daniels or Hendon Hooker, but he's athletic enough to where he's deceptive with his speed. He can run people over if he wants to, but he's also got a very strong arm. He can thread the needle throwing the football there. So can Alabama's pressure offset him, frustrate the play calling of Lane Kiffin? And can its defense be disciplined enough for Alabama not to give LSU short field opportunities? Because when you give Lane Kiffin 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5, you give Lane Kiffin a short field, the whole playbook is open for him. And when you give Lane Kiffin a whole open playbook, that ain't good. Shawty, that ain't good, Shawty. That ain't good right there. So, Alabama defense, Alabama pressure, and discipline got to be up to par there. And then last but not least here, the Bama offense. As much as Bill O'Brien despises running, I don't know what has Bill O'Brien allergic to trust the run game. I don't know what he hates about sticking to the run game and letting that thing develop and grow. But this week, Saturday, Bama's got to have that identity, running the football, pounding Ole Miss's defense, settling Bryce Young in, because it was rough watching Bryce against LSU. He made some plays, absolutely. But just watching him out there last week, even though he was healthy, according to the reports, team doctors and whatnot, it still kind of felt like, is the shoulder still bothering him a little bit? Based on how off he was. He could be very much on this week. And hopefully so. But I want to see Alabama establish this run game, get this thing consistent. Because when you got Jahmyr Gibbs, Jace McClellan, Roydell Williams, Trey Sanders, still want to see a little bit more of Jamarian Miller too. When you got these backs, you got to lean on them sometimes. I mean, at least, Gibbs against LSU, he had with 95 yards rushing. He could have had another 100-yard game. O'Brien you gotta trust it, man. You can't be like Drake, Bill O'Brien, and have these trust issues. Can't do that, O'Brien. Gotta be able to trust these backs and run the football. Those are the keys right there. You know, Alabama defensively, gotta take away Ole Miss's run game. The pressure and the discipline for Bama's defense could offset Jackson Dart and Lane Kiffin. And Bama's offense, Bill O'Brien, let the trust issues go and run the football. Let's build this running game here. We're going to go to another break here on the show. Don't touch that down. We get back. We'll return to you guys. Your phone calls, your thoughts, your questions. Continue dropping those score predictions, offensive and defensive player in the game in the chat. We'll get back to you guys after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, folks, we're back in here to the action. From the break, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Already at 57 likes right now. Thank you guys. Let's get to 75. We're moving to now get this show to 75 likes here, so continue getting a like on the show, hitting that thumbs up, liking the network right here. We're giving you your Alabama football news also. All donations welcomed, all donations appreciated. Daily Super Chat, go that $100 right there. Jimmy Clay dropping 25 more in. Showing us love here on the channel. Appreciate the support they're coming from Jimmy Clay and from all of you. We go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen. This is Kyle from Center, Alabama. How you doing? Well, originally from Center, Alabama, but I live in Georgia now. So anyway.
What's going on, Kyle?
How we feeling? Man, I just want to say that you do a great job on this show. When you call in, you can actually listen to the show. You get put on hold. Your call gets answered. And I know you talked about Paul Feinbaum earlier in the show, so I tried to call him. You know, his show runs 3 to 7 p.m. So I tried to call today, and all I could get was a busy signal. I'm tired of him running his mouth, so I was going to call him, but all I could get was a business signal, so I guess he's scared. He's scared of Alabama. That's what he is. He's scared.
Well, the one thing he did, Kyle, is he did have Lane Kiffin come on and say, thanks for getting Nick Saban ticked off, so when he comes to play us in Oxford, he's going to be ticked off Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, like Lane Kiffin said, he giving him that goat fuel. That's what I want. I want him to go in there and put it up by let's see, 49-3. How about that?
49-3 would definitely be a convincing statement. 49-3 would be the convincing statement that the Bama fan base needs.
And then 49-3 over Ole Miss, and then LSU lose to Arkansas, UAB, and Texas A&M, and then we go to the SEC championship, and slap Georgia in the mouth like we did last year, that would make my season right there. Just slap them right in the mouth.
You know what, Kyle? Crazier things have happened. I mean, people forget. LSU did lose to Troy one year.
Well, hey, it can happen. It's college football. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. It can happen.
Absolutely. So, Crimson Tide, the shot for the SEC championship, it's still there. Got to take care of business. Ole Miss, Auburn, and then, hope to get some help from Arkansas and Texas A&M to beat LSU. But, Kyle, it can happen, my man. It can happen.
Well, fingers crossed. I just want Bama to take care of business, beat Ole Miss, Austin Peay, and Auburn, of course, in the Iron Bowl. I want to win out the rest of the season. But if we get to the SEC championship game, I'll love it. But if we play in a New Year's Six Bowl, I'll love that too. I'm here for the team. I love Bama football. Here we go. Roll Tide. You're doing a great job on the show.
Appreciate Kyle calling in here to the show on a Friday. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steven? It's your boy, Coach Smook, man. Calling from VA, baby. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. We got Bama. We got Ole Miss tomorrow. I mean, Coach Saban on the Nick Saban show yesterday was kind of ticked off, which was pretty cool to see that because even though Saban said he's praying more to get mad less, but there's just something about angry Nick Saban that just makes things right with the world,
It does put a little concern in the hearts of those who've been seeing Saban in his early tenure. But we all know Father Time is undefeated, man, and he's getting to that stage, man. He's getting to that age where he should be becoming more of a mentor, more than the aggressor, more than the rah-rah coach. That's why it's so important to get him to get a better, more, I guess you could say, better IQ of a staff, if you want to say that. Especially being that you got guys like
that's fair.
You got guys like Bill O'Brien still, calling the offense. You got Pete Golden, who's up and coming, just not ready to be the defensive coordinator. So you would expect him to make those immediate changes to assist him in the transition into that role. So definitely to understand that, not giving Coach Saban a pass for what's been allowed to happen within the program on the field with this year's staff. But I can definitely see that being an issue because you saw it happen. Joe Paterno, he didn't allow it to. He didn't the team to evolve, and he was stuck in his ways, and his mindset couldn't keep up with what the times were doing. So you saw how his career ended. Sad to say, but you also look at just the impact he made on every university he touched. So I think Coach Saban has always been kind of ahead of the game when it comes to that. As far as his career has been concerned. So he probably sees something that we as fans don't see. He knows his body, he knows his mind better than anybody. So, but when it comes to this game Saturday, Stephen, I would love to see just a well-executed game. I know it's going to be hard fought. I don't care how good we start off. We have to finish. I was able to watch the LSU game 3 or 4 times now, and both sides of the ball started off with a lot of energy. And it seems like just horrible play calling, Stephen, is really just what's sucking the air out of everything that this offense is about. And I heard some of the guys on the Bama Standard talking about, Bryce Young and Will Anderson needing to become those leaders that just take chances. I think it's kind of late in the season to try to get that out of guys, but if we do see some things like that, Bryce making the obvious run check or whatever, or Will Anderson being, the vocal motivator on the line, holding guys accountable on that defense. I think we could see a strong finish from our team, and everything else to play out for itself. I don't see LSU dropping the game, but like the last caller said, it's been that type of season. But anything could happen on Saturdays in college football. And also, Georgia is probably the most put together team in the nation right now as far as being complete. And I will say this though, they have had a favorable schedule. Being able to play Tennessee at home, I think if we play Tennessee at home, it's a different game. Mind you, we only lost to Tennessee last second by a field goal, and we committed 17 penalties. So you think about, if we had that game at home, it might be a different outcome. But that's about a lot of what ifs and, it could-have and should-have. But what has happened is we've just suffered from a horrible offensive coordinator and a subpar defensive coordinator on both sides of the ball. And once you have that, even with a great coach like Coach Saban, it's hard to weather that and depend on your athletes to produce when they're being capped. So I would just love to see a clean game, well executed on both sides of the ball, especially the offense. I would love to see some common sense on the offensive side of the ball. You don't go and drive 70, 80 yards running the ball 60%, 70%, and then turn around on the next drive and evade it when it was just working for you. Just a little bit of common sense would be great to see. But that's all I got for you tonight, Steven. I'm ready to see you tomorrow. I'm still excited, and it shouldn't. Our misfortune this year shouldn't change the motivation of our fan base. It should actually fuel us because we got a lot of young talent coming in. And a lot of young talent that's committed to coming in and trying to restore what they have, their mindset to be as the Bama standard. So I'm excited and just finish strong. Finish strong. We get the W. Move on to the next game, postseason play, whatever we have in store for our future. We just embrace it and enjoy it. Roll Tide, Steven.
Absolutely. Appreciate my man, Senator Hines, a.k.a. Coach Smoke, calling in here on a Friday. And Ian and I, we got a cool call topic right here, and that is on Will Reichard, senior place kicker for the Crimson Tide. He is one of 20 semifinalists for the Lou Groza Award, which goes to the nation's top kicker in college football. Reichard this season has made 16 of 20 field goals. That's 80%. He's made all 44 of his point after touchdown attempts. And after J.K. Scott, the great J.K. Scott, went all 4 years at Alabama without winning the Ray Guy Award. After J.K. Scott's freshman year, where he averaged 48.4 yards a punt, was hitting 70-yard moonballs his freshman year in 2014, and he didn't win the Ray Guy Award. That organization lost all credibility from me, period. Ain't no way in the world J.K. Scott should have won his whole career without the Ray Guy Award. But I digress from that. Will Reichard can make all things right for Alabama by getting the Lou Groza Award. Alabama has had several strong kickers in its history. When you look at Peter Kim, Michael Proctor, Philip Doyle, Van Tiffin, Lee Tiffin, Jeremy Shelley, just name a few. Jamie Christensen, I'll throw him in there. Bama's had some good kickers in its history. But in the Saban era, Will Reichard, one of the best, if not the best. And he's got a chance to become the first Bama kicker in the history of the program to win the Lou Groza Award. Hopefully, the sun will shine on the foot of Reichard. Reichard can bring that thing to Tuscaloosa. We're going to go to our final break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we get back, we'll tidy up loose ends by talking about two defensive players for Alabama that have made this prestigious award list as semifinalists. We'll talk about that after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back into the action from the break on a Friday. TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets. Covering your Bama football news. Coach Smoke. Appreciate that $2 donation coming in from him. Appreciate all donations. Welcome to all donations. Love, thanks to you, the Alabama fans, making this your network, channel, platform, and space to talk Bama. Continue hitting that thumbs up. Hitting that like button. Liking the show. Making this your platform, your space, your channel. Talk Bama football. Also, don't forget about the TDA post-game show following the game tomorrow. TDA post-game show. Check it out right here on the YouTube channel. Justin Riley, former Alabama receiver Mike McCoy, TDA post-game show. Get there, call in, let your voice be made known there. Also, don't forget about TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. For all of your swagger, sauce, drip, clothing, cultural, fashion needs. Link in the description. Check it out right now. TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. Get you the gear. All hoodies, pants, shirts, joggers, leggings, whatever you want. Supporting your team and the brand, giving you all the information on your team. Showing that love there to Coach Saban, University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at TDAwear.com. Check that out. But final thought here, Elon. We got more of these organizations, foundations doing their semifinalists for these individual national awards. It's that time of year again, basically. And for the Crimson Tide, Alabama's got 2 defensive players named semifinalists for the Lott Impact Trophy. The Lott Impact Trophy named after Ronnie Lott. It's an acronym for impact, maturity, performance, academics, community, and tenacity. And the player that best distributes those qualities on and off the field. So Will Anderson, Jordan Battle, semifinalists for the Ronnie Lott Impact Trophy, which has been awarded since 2004. D'Amico Ryans was the only person for Alabama to win the trophy. That came in 2005. But starting this thing off here with Will Anderson, Will, not the numbers he had a season ago, but still effective. 38 tackles, leads the team with 13 tackles for loss, leads the team with 7 sacks, leads the team with 10 quarterback pressures, does have 1 blocked field goal, and an interception return for a touchdown. Want to see him take over this game against Ole Miss. Want to see him really dominate this game against the Rebels. So my attention will be on 31 in this matchup. How will he take over this game? How will he come center stage here against Lane Kiffin, Jackson Dart, the 2 running backs, and the whole Ole Miss offense? Looking forward to watching Will Anderson. Jordan Battle, I was expecting more from him this season. Haven't gotten it. Not saying that he's not doing a decent job. I was just expecting, for this to be your money year, I was expecting money numbers. Big first-round pick type stuff, Meek Mill said there's levels to this stuff, right? I was expecting big numbers here. Jordan Battle. Huge. Especially what he had put together prior to this year. But all we've gotten from Battle, 45 tackles and 1 pass breakup. That's it. That's no typo. That's it. Those are the numbers. So, want to see more from him. I mean, we are still waiting for a big game from Jordan Battle. So, not necessarily sure why he was on semifinalist list for the Lot Impact Trophy. I mean, not quite sure why, Battle was there. Now, if you put Kool-Aid McKinstry there, that would have made sense. You would have put Brian Branch there, that would have made sense too. But Jordan Battle there, that one, I was expecting more. Haven't gotten. Maybe I'll get it this weekend. Keep my fingers crossed here. Eli, save me a Sprite if he gets this done. Save me a Sprite if he gets this done. But wanted more Jordan Battle this year. Hopefully we will see something this weekend against Ole Miss. But Battle and Will Anderson, both semifinalists for the Lot Impact Trophy. That right there. But as always, folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage here, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can check this out by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. Now, you download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll be back on Monday, continuing the conversation. That's Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, here's what you do. Go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join. Become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description. Also, be reminded that the TDA watch party, getting that TDA watch party tomorrow for Bama, Ole Miss, right here on the TDA YouTube channel with the guys, John Ivory and my man Justin Smith, who do a fantastic job. TDA watch party. Check that out tomorrow. Also, check out the TDA post-game show following the game with Justin Riley, former Alabama wide receiver Mike McCoy. Don't forget, follow Eli Walker on Twitter tomorrow at Eli Walker11. Eli will be getting all the footage from the game. Follow yours truly on Twitter tomorrow at Coaching M. Smith. I'm doing all your tweeting. Live game tweeting right there. Maybe some fun, sarcastic tweets dropped in also. Who knows? We will see what we can do, what we can come up with. But until next time, folks, I got to shout out the fans, though. I can't forget you guys. All that you did today, every call, every super chat, every donation, every conversation in the chat. Thanks, you guys. Making this your show, your network platform, channel space to talk Bama. Appreciate Eli doing his thing there from behind the scenes. And now, till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored and enjoy that weekend. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Show love to every veteran you see the rest of the night. Appreciate all veterans out there. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening to my own words.